Greetings, Glitter Goddesses. We are working on the 12 Days of Christmas Stadium Style box with the Simple Stories Country Christmas paper. All the details on this project, from the paper to the inspiration and all of that, they're all in the video description down below. If you're watching live and you see the chat below instead of the video description, then you just need to switch. There's a toggle where you can switch off the chat just to click the links as you need to. All right, so let's see. We're switching gears now to make the folders, and I have to remind myself of what all I had planned for them. Okay, so 9.5 by 6 3/4 for the back. Okie dokie. And you can take a screenshot of that. That'll have the pages. I'm not doing a written tutorial of any kind on this, so you do need to take notes. Oh, it's 9 1/4 by 6, 9 1/4, not 9.5. 9 1/4. All right, so that's 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. The sticker was partially cut like that, yes. Yeah, it was cut only in part. Or the outline didn't go around all the letters, it only went around the V and the E. All right, so then for the top and bottom, I say you need two 9 1/4 by 4.5. All right, simple enough. All right, so this is the top and bottom, and the sides are 6 3/4 by 3 3/4. All right. Six and 3/4 by 3 3/4. For the sides, and then the circles. Okay, the circles are the closure. I'm not going to do them right now. I'll do them when I do the closure, and the closure may be a separate video. That way, when you're like, how do I do the closure again? It's its own video that you can go refer to. So, all right. So let's get our score board. All right, so we've got piece number 1, which is 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. This is the back, and it is not scored. For the top of the envelope and the bottom of the envelope, we have these two pieces, which are 9 1/4 by 4.5, and they're scored along the 4.5 inch edge at 3 1/4 and 3.5. 3 1/4 and 3.5. All right, and then these two pieces are for the sides, and they are 3 3/4 by 6 3/4, and they're scored on the 3 3/4 inch side at 2.5 and 2 3/4. All right, and that's it. And okay, so I'll hold this up for a screenshot. Okay, there you go. And if you missed it, the recording will be up. For this one, the recording will probably be up tomorrow, so you can take a screenshot tomorrow. But, or it'll be in the archives after the show. And so if you have the archives, you'll get all the recordings from today immediately after the show. And then if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to be putting them out one a day. One a day. So Shaka just got a bacon press. You will love your bacon press, I'm telling you. And I paid $8 for each of my bacon presses, so you got a better deal than I did. Those were... Whose idea was that? It was a husband's idea. So it was a crafter's husband he's like a seller at Swap Meets. He saw her holding stuff all the time, you know, holding stuff, just sitting there and holding stuff. And so he saw bacon presses at a swap meet and he brought them. And they work so well. She told me about it and here we are. We all have bacon presses in our craft room now. So that idea came from a scrubby. That idea came from a scrubby. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. These are going to go around like this. So we're making something that looks like an envelope, looks like a folder. You notice that they don't quite meet in the middle. That's on purpose. And it's a 1/4 inch thick. Okay, it's a 1/4 inch thick. So what we're going to do is the longer ones will be on the outside, and then I have a closure that'll hold it all together. No magnets. No magnets needed. So what I want to do is, here's what I'm going to say about the back of the folder. We want to cut these pieces all, you know, miter them, cut them at a 45-degree angle so that they don't overlap on the back. But first I want to, it was your husband? Okay, I'll tell him thank you. I knew it was a scrubby. I just didn't remember whose scrubby, but it was a great idea. It was a great idea. All right, so I'm going to put a line of tape of 1/2 inch tape on the inside of the flap. And then I'm going to put 3/8 inch tape by the score line. And that's the only reason I'm using 2 different sizes is because I'm trying to get rid of all my 1/2 inch tape, and so that I only have 3/8 inch tape left, because I just think that's the more useful size and you don't need to have both 1/2 inch and 3/8. So until, you know, I'm going to use one of each until I've gotten rid of all the 1/2 inch. He's very proud of himself. He should be. And then another crafter's husband was the one who came up with the tin roofing caps. So that's another scrubby contribution. So the tin roofing caps also came from a scrubby. A scrapbooking hubby is a scrubby. So that was another one. So oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it's tough outside the US. I know crafting is tough. Just today, so one of the people who won a Black Friday prize lives in Australia and wanted to know if they purchased some stuff from the shop, if we would ship it with their prize. And I was like, well, is that even like, you know, worth it with the exchange and the shipping and everything? But even like what tape costs, like score tape, if you buy it from an Australian store, it's double. It's still double what it costs if you bought it here. And that's not even paying shipping from the US. I guess because the seller paid shipping from the US, that somebody had to pay it. But yeah, it's a lot. It's just a lot. I'm sorry. I wish I could fix it, but that is one thing I cannot fix, unfortunately. Hi, baby. How are you? How are you? You need attention? I get it. It's cold outside. It's cold outside. Purr. All right. So we want these cut at a 45-degree angle, so I'm going to use my angle scissors. I just got to figure out where I put them. I think they fell down in a pocket. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. All right. So these are called miter shears. And they're for cutting quarter round for if you make wood floors. If you install wood floors, that's the quarter round that holds the wood floor down. So that's what they're for, or that hold, that covers the gap between the wood floor and the wall. So that's what they're for, but I use them for cutting cardstock. And I set them to 45 degrees. Now, they do require some grip strength. Hey, yes, I know. They will not restock tin caps. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If that happens, I'm going to have to like make a deal with a local roofer. To buy a gallon, like a 50-gallon drum of them or something. I don't know what we're gonna do. The 1 5/8. Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad, Kitty. What are we gonna do? Kitty, you need to be careful. You don't want to lose a whisker, okay? You don't want to lose a whisker, buddy. You gotta stay away from the cutting materials. I would recommend if you're gonna get these, they sell them where the blade is like a razor blade and it's replaceable if it gets dulled. I would get that one. So I'm probably gonna have to buy. Oh, you're gonna show everyone how pretty you are? Oh, look. Well, that's what I think. I'm gonna have to go to a roofer. Oh no, roofers are going to plastic caps? Oh my gosh, this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. What are we going to do, friends? What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, you sheepy. Yeah. How strong do you have to be to cut the quarter round if the paper requires strength? That's a good question, Candy. No! Sandra! She brought the bad news, Kitty. She brought the bad news. All right, Kitty. Are you sitting on a piece? Can I have this? Thank you. Oh, okay. You want kisses? All right. Thank you. Thank you for kisses. Okay, I'm just gonna grab this from under your foot. Can you let me have it? Thank you. Well, that's what I think we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to go to the Z palette people. Maybe I can message the Z palette lady on Instagram and say, look, I'm not a competitor. I don't sell palettes. I'm not even in the makeup industry. This will affect you 0%. Where do you get your metal? Where do you get your metal? If we each go in and buy a box, we should have enough to last for a week or so. All right, so that's the miter shears. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to get the kind that you can sharpen or whatever, but we'll see. All right, so now what I'm thinking is I want these to be angled in, like, you know, just ever so slightly. Maybe come in an inch so that they look more envelope-like, okay? So I think I'm just going to come in an inch. And what I would recommend is maybe We Are Memory Keepers could make tin cap chompers. I would trust them. I got that tool from Amazon. Yes, I did. I would trust them to make chompers, tin cap chompers. Then they could also sell tin caps. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from this line to the corner, but the score line, not all the way down to the corner. So I line the 2 points I want to connect up on the same line on my desk. And I draw a line, okay? Today is a sad, sad day. All right, so now we have this shape. So the next thing I want to do is I want this to be rounded. So I'm going to take my just take a scrap of cardstock and round it with your 1/2-inch rounder, which is the larger side of your corner chomper. And then just line it up, and you're gonna line the top of your scrap that you chomped up with the line on your desk, and then just bring it in until it touches the edge, and then score. All right, and then we're gonna cut Well, I have some good news, which is that my landlord thought he had found an all-cash buyer for the house and that we might be able to be out in December if we found a place and just get it over with. But then that fell through, so he offered to extend our lease until March. So that means the end of March, so March 31st. So that means that we are going to be here for Scrappy Bowl, and nothing is going to interfere with Scrappy Bowl. So that's all. So that's some good news. Even though Sandra has destroyed all of our dreams, all of our hopes and dreams, and we'll never be able to craft again, we still have hope. So at least Scrappy Bowl will be unaffected by the move. All right. So this will be envelope flap number 1. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to trace it onto piece number 2. And really what you should do is, yeah, you can see, well, she did call dibs. She did call dibs. So we'll see if she still wants to come now that everyone's mad at her. It's not Sandra's fault. She's just telling us the bad news. She's not the one who made these decisions. So, but she still wants to come. She did call dibs, so. And also she bribed me. As I've said before, bribes do work. If you want something from me, consider a bribe. So, yeah, so if she still wants to come, she can come. And I don't know what, we don't have to do a craft room tour this year, so I'll have to think of something funny we can do on camera. Okay, so now both sides are scored. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. Again, just so everything has an envelope, you know, an envelope feel. So that'll give us those angles, you know, that we would get from an envelope. And like I said, make a template of this, just like we did with the Holy Joes. Make a template first instead of making your envelope first, and that way you can just trace. Yeah, we'll have to get something fun to drink. Like I said, that's going to depend on the teams, but hopefully the teams will be better than last year, because last year we just had the Patriots, and I just was like, what's the, like, you know, Boston drink or the Massachusetts drink, and I couldn't think of anything other than Sam Adams. But then it was the Rams, which is how we ended up with that cereal milk. Which was gross. Although so we'll see, but we'll find something. So hopefully the team that wins will come from an area of the country known for their nice alcoholic beverages. But I know nothing about how the Super Bowl is going at this point, or not the Super Bowl, but you know, the season, the thing they do leading up to the Super Bowl. So I don't know who's probably going and who's probably not going. I always just assume at this point it's going to be the Patriots and some other team. But yeah, we'll find something to drink, we have a good project. So, you know, we'll probably be able to get a lot done on the project. So that's part of it. All right, so the Patriots lost 2 games this year. Bad year for them. Yeah, that is pretty bad. All right. So next step is these all just get stuck down, one on each side. All right. So before I do that, I'm going to trace one to be a template. I'm going to trace one to be a template so that I, one of each. So that I don't have to remake these. And I'm not going to cut it, well, I might cut it out because I'm going to need one for, you want to trace 2 of each size because you're going to need one to cut down for the pattern paper. So for the pattern paper, all right, fold up that bottom. Because you don't need the bottom. That cereal milk was so gross. It was so gross. So we're definitely not having cereal milk again. Even if the Rams go again, I'm going to find a different hipster LA cocktail. So it's not going to be the same. We're not going to, even if the Rams go, we're not doing cereal milk. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so I've got all these traced. I'll cut them out later. So now I'm just going to stick all of these down. So all I do is I'm going to line up the base with the score line and then burnish. All right, then attach the next side, burnish. Then attach the next side, burnish, same, all the way around. Burnish, flip burnish. Last one. Burnish, flip, burnish. All right, so, and this is it. This is the folder. All right, so the folder looks like this. So you can see we've got this gap in the middle. All right. That's where we're going to put our closure. They get here, I think, the 21st. They get here the 21st. All right, so this is the folder. All right, so now we're going to put a photo mat inside it. And if you want to extend these sides so that they go all the way in, you can. It's up to you whether or not this gap will bother you, but you could make those sides longer. You know, I would just add like 1.5 inches to each one. You can figure it out. But now I'm going to show you the closure. The closure is going to be in the next video. So this is the folder. All right, and we're going to use, well, before I cut this video off, let me show you what I would do with these templates. All right, so with these templates, you're going to cut them out. The ones that have the diamond shape, because you trace the whole thing, those cut out on the line. What we need is, we need a Texas team to go so we can all have like margaritas or something. You know, too bad Miami sucks so bad, because then we could have all kinds of cocktails, because Miami is like, there's mojitos, there's all kinds of stuff. All right, and then I'm just gonna do the corners. All right, so, and then this would be, so then just write on this what you need, okay? So this is side cardstock. And then write, just to make it easy on yourself, write the size of the cardstock you need to cut, which in this case is 6 3/4 by 3 3/4. That way you don't have to look it up every time. All right. So then, yeah. So then this one, this is the pattern paper template. So actually what we need to do, we need to cut it 1/8 inch in, smaller, so that our pattern paper nests. So I just put the 1/8 inch line on my ruler on the line we already drew. And we're just going to come in 1/8 inch. We all had, yeah, so what I do, Priya, for Scrappy Bowl is I post the drink recipe ahead of time. So that at home you can follow, you can do it too if you want to. This, so yeah, I posted the drink recipe ahead of time so that anyone who wanted to try spiked cereal milk would be able to try spiked cereal milk. So, it was not just, Fran, Alice, and I. It was anyone who wanted to could try it as well. And we all, I think universally, we all pretty much regretted having tried it. I don't think there was anyone who was like, no, I really loved the spiked cereal milk. I would do the spiked cereal milk again. I think that did not happen. All right, so this is, oh, I got to come in 1/8 of an inch on the bottom as well. But what we all learned is that cereal has some kind of like under flavor that really, really permeated the milk. So there was this weird flavor that was not like chocolate or whatever, that was distinctly cereal. That was bad. It was bad. You have to pray that someone from a good drinking city gets in. Pray that the New Orleans Saints go. Then we can, I mean, there's tons of stuff we can drink if they go. I mean, I would say pray that the Miami Dolphins get in, but like, why would you waste your time? New York doesn't have a team. No, they have the Giants. The Giants, then we could have any kind of like hipster cocktails. Although I feel like New York's a place that would also think spiked cereal milk was a good idea. Okay, so then this is the top, bottom pattern paper. And again, write what size piece you need to trace it out of. Although it's not such a big deal with this one because you'll probably just put it right on your paper. But whatever, it would be 9 by 6.5. Kitty is just staring at me like, why? Why are we still up here? All right, 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. And the Jets. Yeah, so like a New York team, and then we can just find some New York beverage that some mixologist came up with. Although, to be fair, a mixologist came up with cereal milk, so I don't know how much we're trusting those people. Atlanta, we can have rum and Coke. There's probably also some pretty good Atlanta beverages. They've got a nightlife there. There's got to be something. But, again, they have the Coke headquarters are there, so we need a glitter gang cocktail. Just put some edible glitter in whatever we make. Hello, Shawana. How are you? All right, and then this is side pattern paper. So label all your templates so you know what they are. And then this comes off of 6.5 by 3.5. And then save all these templates somewhere so that, because you have to make 12 of these. And you don't want to have to be doing all this measuring every time, each and every time. So if you make templates, then you don't have to measure every time. You can just trace them and cut them out, because each of these pieces you cut 24 times to make 12 if you want to do 12 days of Christmas. And then remember, this one's got to come in 1/8 of an inch on every side. I need to figure out if there's some kind of edible glitter that can go in a cocktail. And if there is, we'll just put it in whatever we go with. Georgia is famous for peaches, so some kind of peach drink. Yes, we could do that. So we have to wait and see who's going, but once we know who's going, then I can start doing my research. All right, almost there. Okay, and then we just have to round off the corners. And where's my, oh, here it is. I accidentally threw my corner rounding piece away. I have two cats in here now wondering what is going on, why I've been in here so long. All right, so now we have all of our templates. So just keep all your templates together so that you can use them for all your other folders. Probably the easiest thing is just to keep them in a folder while you're working on the project, or keep them in the box. I'm going to toss mine in my box as soon as I find the box. Oh, here it is. So I'll just keep mine in the box so I don't lose them. All right, now. All right, so that's how you make the folder. That's how you make the templates. You have everything you need to make your 12 folders for your 12 days of Christmas. And I will be back in the next video. I'll show you how to make the closure. And we'll do that next. We'll do that next. So the next video will be the closure. Thank you so much for following along with this project, this 12 Days of Christmas Stadium box. And I'll see you in the next video.